It seems like industry plants have been a pretty hot topic recently, but they're usually associated with a negative feeling or negative emotion towards them. But why? If the music is good, then why does everybody hate them so much? Today I'm going to do my best to answer that question. I've explained in a previous video what an industry plant is, so I'll just roll that really quick. An industry plant is an artist that gets signed when they have very little to no following, and basically they get tons of money dumped into their brand. They have a virtually unlimited budget for music videos, they have top-notch production, their music sonically sounds almost perfect, and a lot of the times they get to collaborate with other bigger, more established artists due to label connections. For example, Baby Goth collabing with Trippie Redd with absolutely no prior track record of music. So if a label is willing to give you all this money and blow you up, so to speak, then you should probably take it, right? I mean, that's the end goal anyways. Why not have the label just speed up that process for you? While industry plants do rise to fame rather quickly, they also fall off just as hard. Usually they have a very trendy sound that's appealing to what the market is feeling at the moment, and it appeals to a very broad audience.
Who's number 46,853?
But once the market decides to shift and starts to like something new, then a lot of these industry plant artists have a really tough time adjusting to what the new needs of the market is.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
And therefore have a really tough time continuing a successful career. I like to look at industry plants sort of as like one-hit wonders. Now this was obviously a lot more common back before the internet because it was when radio and TV was the deciding factor of who was poppin' and who wasn't. So it was a little bit easier for a one-hit wonder to kind of fade away, but we still do kind of see it today. I mean, I can think of one example right off the bat. Designer.
I got broads in Atlanta, just to lean the family.
Panda was one of the biggest records at whatever time that was, I'm not sure, but he had that sound that everybody was craving at the moment, and that man just popped off and he was super famous and everybody knew who he was and everybody knew all of the words to his song. I mean,
you already know that word.
if you consider those words. And yeah, he had kind of a decent follow-up track, but if you think about it, where's Designer now? I don't know. I don't know if Designer was an industry plant or not. I was just kind of comparing him more to like a one-hit wonder. You get what I mean. But you compare Designer to artists like X and Peep and Lil Skies and Young Pinch and Smoke Perp and Rich the Kid. I mean, the list goes on. There are tons of guys who paid their dues and they hustled the internet, they put their stuff out there, they spent years and years trying to grow to get to the spot that they were at now. And now, all of them have what I would consider to be a pretty loyal fan base. But what I'm trying to say is like, these guys aren't just gonna fall off and just completely die out because they've spent so much time growing fan bases. People have dedicated a lot of time and money into their art. So even if these guys don't have a song that's charting on the billboards, they're definitely gonna still be able to do tours and pack out shows. Whereas with an industry plant, they're just not gonna have the longevity. Plus, with industry plants, we have to raise the question, would they even be as good as they are without all of the industry connections that they have?
You could be sad, 'cause baby I'm alone. Got a lot of hoes, drinking bleach with poison, baby, snort a lot.
With the producers and the writers and the social media promotion team and whatever the hell else the label provides for them, would they be in that position? Is their music good enough? Are they able to create that same music without all of those connections? Probably not. When an underground artist signs to a label, chances are the change in their music is not going to be as drastic. But if you take a label artist, remove them from that label, would they be able to create the same quality music?
Oh, hell no!
So with that being said, do we love the industry plant who is given all the best producers, all the best engineers, all the best writers, all the best studios? Or do we love the kid that spent hours in his room trying to figure out how to use FL Studio or Ableton and tried to learn how to mix and master, but then maybe he couldn't and he reached out to somebody who could and paid them and recorded on a sock mic until eventually a bunch of people got behind his vision. At the end of the day, they're both making the same product. You're listening to the music objectively, so if they essentially sound the same on a quality standpoint, then you're just comparing the two songs, but what did it take to get there? Anybody with a little bit of natural talent could probably just be taken in by the industry and made into something great. But it takes a very unique type of person to struggle and to go through that and to build a fan base. And a lot of people like to comment, "Oh, you're just jealous because they're blowing up." And you know what? There's some validity to that argument. As much as we probably wouldn't like to admit this, yeah, I think the underground community and myself, we do get jealous when we have somebody popping off out of nowhere that's kind of taking the same styles and the same sounds and doing essentially the same thing that we as a community have been doing, but for some reason some random person gets all the recognition for it. But in the back of our heads, we know that they're not gonna last. They're gonna fall off just as much as they came up, and they don't actually have real support behind them. They just have a bunch of people that are like, this is hot, this is trendy, this is cool, I'm gonna follow this. Whereas in the underground, we have people that care. We have people that care about us, that really want us to thrive and want us to grow. There's an artist called Iann Dior that's been on my radar for a little bit.
Why should I try when I know you'll choose the other guy? You a lie. Every time we fuck, got me thinking that you down. When I sober up, it's like you don't come up. I'm stressed out. Think I need a blunt, a five to get me through the rest of the night.
He's got like 50,000 SoundCloud followers and another 60K on Instagram. And every song he has released on SoundCloud has touched over 1 million plays or damn near it. And it doesn't take that long to scroll through his whole history because, again, like we've seen before with a lot of these plants, everything beyond 1 month has been deleted or it never existed. I guess there's really no way for us to tell. And as someone who's heavily involved in the SoundCloud scene and talks to a lot of these underground rappers on a daily basis, none of them knew where this kid came from or how he got into the position that he's in now. He doesn't follow anybody really in the underground scene and doesn't follow anybody at all on SoundCloud. But does that prove that he's an industry plant? Well, no, but kind of yes. It's pretty clear that he's working with internet money because all of his songs are produced by Taz Taylor, Nick Mira. But if you're not familiar with internet money, I wouldn't really consider them like a traditional label. I don't really know everything about them. I'm not going to pretend like I do, but they're essentially a group of producers who hustled the internet and gained their following that way and were able to use that to gain their industry connections. And honestly, they've pumped out some really, really phenomenal records just in 2018 alone. But they're definitely in touch with the underground scene. They for sure have an idea for what the market needs and wants at the time. And they have a really good way of bringing organic traffic to their artists, which means that they're not like buying fake followers or fake likes or plays or whatever. For example, FaZe Banks posted on his YouTube channel promoting Iann Dior's music.
My boy Ian, he's gonna be around a lot, especially in the videos. He makes music, we've all been using him. He's been in Tifu's videos. Alyssa's been slapping him, Rice, the Nelk Boys, heavy. We all just this kid and ship this kid.
I'm not suggesting that FaZe Banks doesn't like Iann Dior's music, but I'm saying for somebody with the amount of subscribers that he has and for a video that's gonna get 2 million plus views, he's not just gonna shout out anybody. So there's definitely some sort of connection there. I feel like if an artist is considering any label, I think that Internet Money might be their best option. They definitely know what they're doing promotion-wise and they produce quality music. However, I'm not really sure why they picked Iann Dior as the next artist that they want to pump a bunch of money and time into, because the music that he's putting out is extremely mid-pack, if you ask me. It honestly doesn't bring anything new to the underground scene or a mainstream scene. I don't see this music as being special or inherently interesting at all, and I'm honestly quite confused why he was the one that they chose. The songs that he has out are good. I mean, they sound good, but they're not like great. They're not really special. There's like 100 SoundCloud artists that do what Iann Dior is doing just as good or maybe even better. I would describe his music as just good enough. And considering all the dope music that they have made, it kind of just surprises me why he is the one. I just don't think that this would be getting millions of plays without the backing of these labels. So does him working with Internet Money make him an industry plant? No, not really. But it does make me wonder if they decided to drop him tomorrow and stop producing his records for him and stop doing whatever that they were doing for him, where would he be? Would the quality of his music be the same? Would it be even close? Would he have a fan base? Not really sure, but I don't think so. Does that mean that you shouldn't support him or you shouldn't like the music? Absolutely not. Music is subjective at the end of the day, and if you like it, regardless of somebody being an industry plant or not, doesn't mean that you can't or shouldn't listen to their music. I'm just speaking for myself and generally the underground community. I don't know, we like a little bit more substance. We like a little bit more of a connection with the artist. We like to learn about them and watch them grow and change and develop their sound. And it doesn't really excite us to see just a random mysterious figure pop up out of nowhere. My name is Patrick CC, and I just love underground hip hop and underground community in general. I'm out.